The world of politics and power is full of secrets, but few mysteries have captured the public imagination like the hidden Epstein files. These documents, allegedly detailing interactions between powerful figures and the disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein, have been shrouded in secrecy for years. Among the most controversial aspects is the repeated refusal of former and now current President Donald Trump to release them. Why would one of the most scrutinized figures in modern history keep these files from public view? And what might they reveal if finally exposed? In this video, we explore the tangled web of power, secrecy, and speculation surrounding the Epstein files, focusing on Trump, the legal and political implications, and the broader societal consequences. Jeffrey Epstein was more than a wealthy financier. He was a man whose private life collided spectacularly with some of the most powerful people in the world. Accusations of sexual misconduct, trafficking, and manipulation of young women made headlines globally, but the story went far deeper than the initial charges. Over time, a vast trove of files, legal documents, and correspondence, collectively known as the Epstein files, surfaced. These files reportedly detail Epstein's operations, the identities of those involved, and possible connections to influential figures in politics, business, and entertainment. Naturally, the files are extremely sensitive, raising questions about privacy, legal liability, and perhaps most importantly, power. Donald Trump's name has come up repeatedly in connection with Epstein. While Trump has publicly denied any wrongdoing, and little definitive evidence links him directly to Epstein's crimes, the mere possibility of further revelations has fueled public speculation. Trump and Epstein's relationship is documented at least superficially. They were known to have socialized in similar circles in the 1980s and 1990s, attending high-profile parties and charitable events. Photographs, interviews, and occasional comments in the media have confirmed they were acquainted, though the depth of their relationship remains unclear. Trump has described Epstein as a terrific guy in earlier interviews, though later, after Epstein's criminal activities became public, he distanced himself. Legal documents indicate Trump was never charged or formally implicated in Epstein's activities, but the connection alone has generated intense scrutiny. The burning question is not only about past interactions, but about the Epstein files themselves. Do they contain information about Trump? And if so, why has he resisted releasing these documents to the public or authorities? One obvious reason for the continued secrecy is the potential legal ramifications. The Epstein files are not merely public gossip. They are legal documents, affidavits, and potentially classified correspondence. Any public release could implicate individuals or provide leverage in ongoing investigations. Trump's legal team, along with other high-profile figures, may argue that releasing the files could compromise ongoing investigations. Prosecutors, civil litigants, or law enforcement agencies may still be examining elements of Epstein's network. Premature disclosure could jeopardize these processes, violate privacy and defamation laws. Even accusations within the files could trigger lawsuits if released publicly without verification. Expose sensitive information, financial data, personal correspondence, and connections to foreign nationals may involve security risks. In short, the legal complexity of these documents is immense. It's possible that Trump's refusal to release the files is rooted in caution and legal advice. However, that doesn't fully quell public speculation. Beyond legal concerns, political and societal factors may also play a role. The Epstein files, if they contain sensitive information about high-profile individuals, could have massive implications for careers, reputations, and influence networks. Trump, as a former and now current president, operates in a uniquely exposed position. Any revelation from these files could impact political allies and opponents, potentially shifting power dynamics within the Republican Party and broader political landscape. Media narratives. The files could provide ammunition to critics or fuel conspiracy theories. Public perception. The court of public opinion is often swayed by leaked information, regardless of its legal standing. Some analysts suggest that by maintaining control over access to these files, Trump may be protecting not only himself, but also broader strategic interests. Whether this is a move of self-preservation, political calculation, or legal necessity is open to debate, but it is undeniably a source of intrigue. While much of the content remains speculative, several key possibilities have been suggested by journalists, commentators, and former investigators. Names and connections, lists of people who associated with Epstein, including those who may have been complicit or merely social acquaintances. Financial transactions, evidence of funding networks, shell companies, and offshore accounts that could link influential figures to Epstein. correspondence, emails, letters, and other communication that may reveal intent, knowledge, or complicity, legal settlements, documentation of settlements and agreements with alleged victims, potentially implicating other parties, potential criminal evidence, information that could support charges against associates or reveal previously unknown criminal activity. The tantalizing question for the public and perhaps for Trump himself is how much of this information could cause legal or reputational damage if made public. The Epstein files are more than just sensational documents. They are a lens through which society can examine power, secrecy, and accountability. Why do some figures, no matter how high profile, maintain secrecy while others are exposed? This controversy highlights several societal dynamics: the intersection of wealth and influence. Epstein's social network shows how wealth can shield individuals from scrutiny, media, and public curiosity. Stories like these thrive in a society hungry for transparency and scandal. The challenge of legal versus moral accountability: even if legal consequences are avoided, the court of public opinion remains powerful. In refusing to release the files, Trump becomes part of this broader discussion. The tension between secrecy, power, and the public's right to know. Trump's refusal is not unprecedented. Throughout history, sensitive legal documents have often been withheld for years, sometimes decades, for reasons of national security, political strategy, or personal protection. Examples include presidential documents sealed under executive privilege, legal settlements with gag orders, investigative files kept confidential during ongoing inquiries. In this sense, the Epstein files fall into a long tradition of sensitive materials that authorities and influential individuals prefer to keep private, often for strategic reasons. While the files remain hidden, several scenarios could bring them into the light. Court orders, civil or criminal litigation could compel disclosure. Congressional inquiries oversight committees have the power to subpoena documents. Leaks, whistleblowers, or insiders could release files intentionally or accidentally. Death or incapacitation of key figures. Historically, documents sometimes surface only after key players are no longer able to suppress them. Any of these scenarios could drastically alter public perception, political narratives, and historical records. Speculation thrives in the absence of information. Social media, conspiracy forums, and independent journalists often fill gaps with theory and conjecture. While much of this is unverified, it fuels public curiosity and pressure for transparency. Trump's refusal, intentional or otherwise, only amplifies this speculation. Every denied request, legal maneuver, or ambiguous statement becomes a data point in a growing narrative that mixes fact, rumor, and imagination. Speculation aside, several plausible motivations could explain why Trump refuses to release the Epstein files: self-preservation, protecting personal reputation, and avoiding legal exposure; political strategy, controlling information to maintain influence over allies and opponents; protecting others, shielding associates or broader networks from scrutiny; legal caution, adhering to advice from attorneys regarding ongoing investigations or settlements; strategic leverage, maintaining a card that could be used in negotiation, media, or political influence. These motivations are not mutually exclusive and could operate simultaneously. The Epstein-Trump file story is emblematic of a broader societal issue: how power, secrecy, and accountability intersect. Across history, influential individuals have often been able to maintain discretion while others are exposed. The question of why Trump refuses to release the files is therefore not merely about one man, it's about a system where power can influence transparency. It forces us to confront uncomfortable questions. Who gets to decide what the public can see? How much secrecy is justified for legal or strategic reasons? At what point does moral responsibility outweigh legal caution? The Epstein files act as a mirror, reflecting these systemic challenges in stark detail. If the Epstein files were made public, the consequences could be profound. Political fallout, shifts in influence within U.S. politics and international relationships, legal ramifications, potential charges or lawsuits for individuals implicated, media frenzy, renewed attention and scrutiny for past and present figures, public trust impact, erosion of confidence in institutions if secrecy is perceived as cover-up, historical record, providing a fuller understanding of the Epstein network and those connected to it. While speculative, these outcomes underline why control over the files is so fiercely maintained. The Epstein files remain one of the most tantalizing mysteries of recent history. Donald Trump's refusal to release them adds layers of speculation, drama, and intrigue. While the legal, political, and societal factors may justify secrecy to some extent, the refusal fuels public curiosity and debate. Ultimately, the Epstein files are more than just documents. They are a prism through which we can examine power, secrecy, morality, and accountability. Whether they remain hidden or one day see the light of day, the questions they raise about influence, responsibility, and transparency are already shaping our understanding of the modern world. For readers and viewers driven by curiosity, the story continues. Who really controls the narrative, and what secrets are still being kept from us?